This video is powered by cardmarket.com.
What's cracking, YouTube? Jobber here, and I have before you the 2005 Dark Beginnings 2 sealed booster box. 13 cards per pack, 24 packs per box. It is an enormous booster box. I'm actually going to see if I have a... I have a booster box right over here of Judgment of the Light. And you're going to compare the size difference here. I mean, look at that. It's just such a big difference in size having those extra cards in there. It is an enormous booster box. It feels like a Pokemon booster box, actually. I've held one of those before, and they feel like a brick, and this is how this feels. It literally feels like a brick. There are also just amazing cards here. Obviously, you see right here, Blade Knight. It comes ultra rare. There's actually some really cool cards. And Solemn Judgment, Super Rare, Heavy Storm. But the card that I'm really after is the Last Warrior from Another Planet. There's some great ultra rares in here, but that Last Warrior from Another Planet comes super rare, and it is gorgeous super rare in this set. So hopefully we'll pull that, and an ultra rare Blade Knight as well. It's always gives me a flashback of the old goat days of the card game. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get cracking. If you guys enjoy this video, please remember to drop a comment down below, give this video a like, subscribe, bell, and follow me on Instagram. Okay, well, let's see what this brick booster box has in store for us. 2005. I mean, oh my gosh, that is 14 years this box has been sealed, and it's been waiting for this epic day for us to pop this thing open and bring these cards to light. And I'll give a quick shout out here to our KMC Hypermat sleeves. If we pull any foils, we're going to be sleeping up in these. And yeah, these are beautiful looking booster packs too. Gosh. God, Gaia, Blade Knight, Celtic Guardian. It's a really cool pack. 13 cards per pack. Gosh. Oh, Gemini Elf. I remember that card first dropped in IOC. Oh my gosh, I was all over that. Get those for my deck. Oh, nice! Our first booster pack has a super rare Cannon Soldier. This guy has been involved with all kinds of different OTK and FTK decks over the many years it has been around. Crazy. And it's funny too, is being a super rare, it's such a dark foil. It's almost like a Euro print. If you've ever seen Euro print cards before, they're like it's like a different shade, a little bit of a darker to the browns and stuff. It's nice. It's interesting. And it's funny that they put the tip card right there in the middle. You know, their Dark Piercing Light. I believe the first time I saw this card be printed was in the McDonald's pack, if I'm not mistaken. It was a super rare in there. Very cool. I bought a lot of Happy Meals from McDonald's to acquire those booster packs back in the day. Those came out a long time ago. It was well before I was able to drive. So me and my buddy walked over there. Actually, it was about an extra 30 cents or something to just buy the entire meal. We bought a ton of meals. Him and my buddy actually ate over there, and then there was some homeless people outside, and I gave them a bunch of Happy Meals. I just told them I was just here for the cards. I said, trust me, I didn't do anything to them. Oh my goodness. You guys see that? Look at that. It's like, it's all peeled over. That's a bummer. Dang, that sucks. The card was just like put into the booster pack already pre-damaged. That is a bummer. Spirit message. What was that? Magic Reflector. So you can equip it over to a spell card, and basically it takes 2 destructions. So for an example, say I equipped it to a wave motion cannon. It would take you Mystical Space Typhooning it twice to get rid of it. So not too bad. I have seen it be played before back in the day. A Shadow Ghoul. Very cool. Oh, nice. A rare Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. I actually forgot they came in the Dark Beginnings too. I thought this was only a tournament pack card. I believe it was TP5, if I'm correct. It comes rare. Very beautiful rare. Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. Prevents your opponent from banishing cards from either player's graveyard. If that card does any damage to your opponent's life points, oh, Reckless Greed. You can banish 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard, and it was cards. You can remove spells or traps. And they errated it so you can only remove monsters. Not too sure why exactly on that aspect of things, but that's what they did. So Kaiku's still a really good card. 1800 attack, 4-star dark. I ran in a lot of my old school Chaos Sorcerer decks and stuff back in basically the GOAT format days. So that was very interesting. Suki Samurai, destroyed. If they have a set monster, automatically destroy without damage calculation. Just auto dies. Never gets flipped up, just gone. If it was a flip effect, you're not getting it. Pretty cool card. There was a lot of people were actually side decking it for the just when your opponent would set like their 1/1 back in the day, which almost always would be like Magician of Faith, Mystical Space Typhoon, and then you just reinforcements for the Suki Samurai, and then attack over the Magician of Faith. So then you have a little bit of tempo, and if you're able to back it up with something, some kind of back row, bottomless or something, you normally were pretty much okay. They would summon Breaker, you bottomless it, and then you're back in the driver's seat again. And that's kind of like how the game was back in the day. It was just a nice little back and forth, which was it's just interesting because back then, you know, you'd think I mean, it was definitely a lot simpler, but being able to play like that, if you ever made any kind of misplay or you overextended, then you ended up getting like torrential or something, you basically lost the game back then. So it taught you to really be good with your card management and not make giant misplays like that. Soggy the Dark Clown, oh my gosh. I think the first time I saw this was Kaiba versus Pegasus. And he crush carded it off. I believe that was the first time. Oh, nice! Guardian Sphinx Ultra Rare. Oh my gosh. Our first Ultra Rare to the box. That is gorgeous. And when this card, you can flip summon it. And I think it flips itself, yeah, it flips itself back face down if you want. Return all monsters your opponent's side of the field. Okay, you can flip this card in a face down defense position once per turn. During your main phase, when this card is flip summoned successfully, return all monsters on your opponent's side of the field to the owner's hand. Actually, a really strong card. 1700 attack, 2400 defense. It was a really, really good card. Yeah, that was a card I was actually seeing a lot of play floating around for a long time. It was a pain in the butt too, being 2400 defense, because I only ran Jinzo back then, so attacking into it, it wouldn't return it. You have to, with those, you actually have to flip summon it yourself. So not when it's flipped. So I'd have to keep attacking into it, so it couldn't return it. But then they would be able to flip it down themselves and flip it back up themselves, and then return my Jinzo back to my hand and attack me for 1700, which kind of leaves it vulnerable at that point for an attack. You could summon a Breaker and just attack over it. Things like that, for example. But still, it was a very, very good card, and it was difficult to get around back then, for sure. King Tiger Wanghu, anything with 1400 attack or less that is normal or special summon, just summoned in general, is automatically destroyed. Very, very good card. It was a card that I've ran in the past and side decked in the past. Good card. Actually, I tried it out one time for fun in Quill Forts, because when you scale things, it would decrease your opponent's monster's attack by 300. So it was pretty cool. So if they summoned anything, say 1700, it would automatically be destroyed by King Tiger's effects. And also, him being 1700 himself made it very difficult with their monster's attack being decreased by your scales than to even try to attempt to attack over it. So, pretty interesting. I thought it was a good idea. I tried it out. I don't know. It was all right. This was like 3 years ago. Bottomless Trap Hole. Common. Cool. So we have pulled 2 foils so far. Guardian Sphinx being our ultra rare. And then we have a Cannon Soldier super rare in there. Very cool. I am hoping that we pull a Last Word from Another Planet. It is a fusion monster. 2450. When this monster is summoned, it destroys all monsters on my side of the field. Beautiful. Super rare right here. But yeah, with Last Word from Another Planet, when it is summoned, it destroys all monsters on my side of the field, and except for himself, obviously. And your opponent, I think it's just your opponent. Your opponent can't summon monsters. They can set though, and he's pretty amazing. We put him on the field, being 2450 attack, especially if you're able to put it on the field first turn somehow. I don't know. Say you pay Cyberstein 5000, end up blowing up Cyberstein. He'll stay, and your opponent just can't summon monsters. So they would have to have some kind of way, trap card, Dark Hole Raigeki, somewhere like that, and a lot of decks don't have that, so they just can't out that card. So Last War from Another Planet, very, very strong card. And on top of that, he's just a really freaking cool looking card. So I hope that we end up pulling it and I can show you guys. He's just a cool fusion. One of my favorites, including, I mean, this super rare right here, Dawn Zalug being the first print was an ultra rare. Dawn Zalug is a really amazing card. If you deal damage to your opponent, you can discard one random card from their hand, or you can send the top 2 cards of their deck to the graveyard. So, pretty cool. I used Dawn Zalug's effect one time when I was battling my friend, and I sent the 2 top cards of his deck to the graveyard, and it was Pot of Greed and Monster Reborn. In that order. Oh my gosh. Dawn Zalug was putting in work. Crazy luck. Crazy things you see when you've played the game since the game is dropped. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Good stories. Ah, the Swarm of Locusts. Kind of like the Guardian Sphinx. I forgot that they kind of came out similar. So when this one, I think this one destroys spell or traps. Yeah, so when you flip it yourself, you can destroy a spell or trap on your opponent's side of the field. Then you can flip it back down. It's pretty cool. And it was, some people were running like decks around it and stuff, trying to protect it. There was one that was as a type of it's like a camel, and you can flip it and just draw a card. And that one was pretty cool. But they with the Swarm of Locusts, they combo it with the Swarm of Scarabs. And the Scarabs, when you flip it up, you destroy a monster your opponent controls, and that one would destroy a spell or trap card. So it made it very difficult, and it's like a little bit of a lock. And then that deck ran a bunch of things like Gravity Binds, Message to Your Piece, and whatnot, so your opponent couldn't attack over your stuff. So you basically just back it up with a bunch of back row, then have your opponent like kind of locked. They really couldn't do anything. A rare Bazu the Soul Eater. And a Tune Table of Contents, that's a good common. The Super Rejuvenation also is a good common. Dropping the cards is not a good way to go. And we have a Bubble Crash. And we're done with our first half of our booster box here. Let's go over to our second half. Let's do a quick little recap here. So I'm kind of like combining them all together. We ended up pulling 3 foils. So I don't know if that's going to be like a basic trend that we're going to be doing. So we'll end up pulling 3 more foils and end up with 6 in total or not. But we will find out here shortly what else we end up pulling. But so far, 2 supers, 1 ultra, and I am on the hunt for the Last War from Another Planet. I mean, almost no foil in here you can pull is bad. That actually makes this set super amazing. And Needleworm. There's just really good commons and really good foils. So, I'm going to run a Captain Rare. And if you've noticed, our rares are really good. Commons, Book of Moon, there's just a lot of really good cards in this set in general. Probably why the booster boxes themselves make them so valuable. I don't know what the current price of this booster box is right now. I actually got it in a bundle with a bunch of sealed product, and he just had a set price, and I ended up buying all of it. So I didn't do any like price checking on this specifically because it was just all as a big whole, and he gave me a good deal on everything. So it wasn't even close to what market value would have been, but I'm sure this booster box is pretty expensive. Oh, nice! There's Super Rare Heavy Storm. Right on. I don't know when this card is ever going to come back off the ban list. But I'm sure at some point we will have it back into the game. I'm sure of it. So hold on to your Heavy Storms, guys. It'll happen. We have everything else. I mean, we got Evenly Matched, Twin Twister, Mystical Space Typhoons. I mean, you name it, we have it. Cosmic Cyclone. Galaxy Cyclone. I mean, so I don't see why Heavy Storm's not going to come back. Destroys all spell and trap cards on both player sides of the field. It's one of those kind of cards a lot of people would just side deck for when they know they're going to be going second, so they can actually play the game. Sometimes that back row is what separates them from actually being able to achieve being able to play. A rare Reinforcement of the Army combos well with a Marauding Captain, being that it is a warrior itself. Trap Dust Shoot. Needle Ceiling. Okay. There's still the ultra rare Blade Knight that we have not seen yet, and I hope that we end up pulling here. That's a pretty cool card. And if you have 1 or less cards, it gains 400 attack, and then if it attacks a flip effect monster, its effect's negated. So pretty cool card. It was a very, very good card in the old school, basically like GOAT format decks back in the day. It was a staple. Being a warrior, you can reinforcements for it, and it being light, it comboed well with Blackluster Soldiers and Chaos Sorcerers that they were playing back in the day. Mystic Horseman. What is that one called? Dice Jar? And my friend roll a 6 on me, and I burned for 6,000 life points because of that card. But I've had some interesting stories and interesting matches, needless to say. Lost the card once too. I ended up being down some life, and I had that happen. And then he flipped over some other card where it's like they had to roll the dice again, and he rolled a 6, and I lost. Things like that. Oh my gosh, there we go. Ultra rare Blade Knight. That is what I'm talking about. Woo! Check that out. That is awesome. Right on. Definitely one of the more key cards. Chase card you want to pull. And I mean, just me being me, I'm always after the cover card. You got the booster pack right here. You got Blade Knight on it, and we end up pulling the cover card. Can't get any better than that, guys. That is awesome. Wow. Absolutely gorgeous. Ultra rare Blade Knight. There he is. 1600 attack. You have 1 or less cards in your hand. He'll gain 400, so he's 2,000. Pretty difficult card to get around. Good tempo card. Gets rid of those Magician of Face back in the day, so they wouldn't get their Graceful Charity Pot of Greed. Monster Reborn back from their grave. Things like that. Confiscation. That was a big one back then. Very, very cool. Mechanical Chaser. Very nice. Pulled that from our TP1 booster box opening we had on a little Christmas marathon going on last year. I am planning on doing something similar this year. I'm going to be building up some really cool high-end product, and I'm going to go full bananas for November and December, trying to open up some really cool stuff for the channel. So I am excited for that, and hopefully you guys will be here to watch that. It's been adding stuff. Fiber Jar, very cool card. That card has been banned infinitely. I don't know. I have a few things saved up right now. And we're just going to get more and more stuff saved up as we go along. Just try to do a little bit of hunting, just tuck away some little hidden gems for our November and December grand finales. And it's crazy. This summer just seemed like it just flew right by. I mean, my goodness. August, September, and it was just like, boom. It's going to be, it'll be November here in no time. Be having Thanksgiving with the family and whatnot. Just insane. It really is. Like, oh my gosh, where did the whole year go? X-Raider. Very cool. Ah, a Super Yamada Dragon. Very cool. This one actually, it's a spirit monster, 2 tributes, and you're like, oh my gosh, the spirit monster goes back to your hand, 2 tributes. But hold on, when you deal damage, what is it? If you deal any life point damage to your opponent, draw cards from your deck until your hand has 5 cards. That's what makes them amazing. That is a really, really freaking cool card. Double tribute, put them on the field, boom. Attack over that, draw 5. Super cool. It was a card that we tried out in old school Frog Monarchs, actually. So it was very easy because you'd always have a Treeborn Frog on the field, and then you'd be doing things like standby phase, emergency controller, tribute off the Treeborn Frog that came back, take their monster, still standby phase. Treeborn Frog comes back, and then you just tribute off their monster and that, put him on the field, set a couple of your back row, and then just attack. And then you get to draw 5 cards. It was pretty cool. And then you're not stuck if you have back row there, because all the frogs you'd be able to like banish, special summon like a Ronin Toad, things like that. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting deck. Oh, Jogan the Spiritualist. This guy's actually really cool. No monster can be special summoned as long as his monster remains face up on the field. You can discard 1 random card from your hand to destroy all special summon monsters on the field. So that's really cool. Very, very nice. All right, for our last booster pack, guys. Oh man, this felt like it went by fast. Pulled our Blade Knight. No last war from another planet, unfortunately, but that's okay. I mean, we pulled literally everything else you could possibly pull from here. So here we got our last turn. That is definitely banned. Pulled basically about as good of a booster box as you could possibly pull from here, I would say. I mean, it was a really good booster box. Okay, well, let's go take a look at our rares too. Those are pretty pretty rare rares, actually. A Marauding Captain. What do you get? 2 Marauding Captains in here? Yeah, 2. That's not too bad. And then we had our beautiful foils. So how many foils did we end up getting? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we ended up getting 6 hollows, so not too bad. So we have our Cannon Soldier, super rare. Donzalug, super rare. Heavy Storm, super rare. Yamada Dragon. Then we have our Blade Knight, ultra rare. And then our Guardian Sphinx, ultra rare. Very cool stuff. That's awesome. We ended up pulling really amazing. Other than just the last War for Another Planet, but just my personal, me wanting to pull it thing, I think we pulled about as good as you could possibly pull from this set. It's possibly been able to pull that beautiful cover card, that Blade Knight. That is absolutely amazing. Right on. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did. If you guys did, please remember to drop a comment down below, give this video a like, subscribe, and bell. Follow me on Instagram. I have a link in the description down below. If you guys enjoyed this, you want to see other old school openings like it, please message me on Instagram for any cool old school stuff you guys have. If you guys like to donate to the channel or sell to me, shoot me a message. We can work out something. Thank you guys again. Jobber here is signing out.